up, motorsports fans from around the world, and welcome back to the Driving Circles podcast, episode 2. This week, we're going to be talking about the Homestead Miami weekend for NASCAR and the COTA weekend for F1, a double U.S. Race weekend for both series. If you were wondering what happened to last week's episode, don't worry about it. Episode redacted. That's what we're going to call it for now. We recorded it Wednesday night. Lost all the footage, so the only person that knows what we talked about for 40 minutes was God. Anyway, Cory, let's hop into the truck race where iRacing God Ty Majeski came out with the W.
Ty Majeski led 67 laps. When has Ty Majeski been doing this? Like, he wins at Bristol, and he's like, oh, I can win? Oh, give me this Thor Sport Championship real quick, Playboy. He's getting hot at the right time, followed by Zane Smith in P2, then Stuart Friesen, Ryan Preece, Cory rounds out your top 5, then Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes, Matt Crafton, a little 6, 7, 8 for Thor.
Can we get a quick F in the chat for Stuart Friesen, who missed by about 2 points?
Hey, and we're gonna say it. We're gonna cover this a little bit later in like 2-3 minutes. How did he lose out on that? How did he lose out on it? Very controversial. We're gonna cover it after we talk about some of these guys that were up front. Cory Heim. Cory, I know that you're a fan of him. Same name. You support all those KBM guys. Nice to see that he came out with the top 5.
Yeah.
It's still a shame about Stuart Friesen. He raced his, I can't say curse words, he raced his behind off, like I'm trying to get monetized. He raced his behind off, went up and got 3rd place, but nobody, and I mean nobody, could touch time. A regular season champion couldn't even get close to him.
Yeah, man. I mean, just watching that race, you could have seen, like, Zane Smith was visibly, like, struggling to keep pace with Ty Majeski there at that last 3rd stage. Like, nobody could touch him.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Great for Ty Majeski, though. Just such an amazing story. He went from sleeping on someone's couch and volunteering in the Thor Sport shop to potentially going to get them a championship. I think that's an amazing story.
Is that actually how it went? Is that actually how it what?
Yes, he volunteered at the shop.
Damn, what the 60 Xfinity car Roush will do to a boy. Dang, that's crazy.
Oh. All right. Well, okay, so let's cover this these playoffs. The championship 4 was set at Homestead. All 3 of us have very mixed emotions about having Homestead as the cutoff race. # Martinsville cutoff race. We stand by that. But championship 4 is set. You got 2 Thor Sports. You got Zane Smith, and you got Chandler Smith. Okay, so Ooh! Yeah, James is so happy right now because he is a Chandler Smith stan boy. He loves Chandler Smith.
I indulge in some Chandler Smith. If Chandler Smith doesn't win the championship, I'd say, what episode is that going to be? Episode 4.
Episode
I might not
4.
Be. I may or may not have committed suicide, but we don't got to talk about that yet.
Anyway, so let's go down through this. Race winner Ty Majeski won himself into it. Zane Smith pointed his way into it, I believe, if I remember. I think all the rest of these guys pointed their way in.
Yes, that is true.
Ben Rhodes, Mickey Mouse Championship 4. Can we agree?
Share your thoughts.
Here we go again. NASCAR blatantly missed this call. Okay, we got another topic for our hot topic that's gonna be better than this. So that's why that's just gonna be put on the truck recap. But Matt Crafton blatantly pulled over and gave crucial spots to Ben Rhodes in order to beat Stuart Friesen into advancing into the final 4. Like, if we're gonna penalize Chase Briscoe, or if we're gonna penalize SHR for doing that, we gotta penalize Thor Sport because that's the same exact stuff that they just pulled right there, and it's not right that Stuart Friesen, who ran a clean race, doesn't have any teammates to do that. He just ran a smart race, and he was just doing his best. Gets eliminated because of team orders.
Yeah, it's a shame. Just another one of those things you gotta realize NASCAR's inconsistency is insane and it's terrible for the sport. Terrible in situations like this.
And then Chandler Smith rounds out your top five. John Hunter Nemechek got eliminated. I don't know, man. John Hunter Nemechek in 2022 was just a year for him to forget. I know he had a couple of wins, but very disappointing for him. I mean, very disappointing to watch, especially seeing that Chandler Smith just outperformed him the entire season.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
Makes sense.
I mean, yeah. So that's
Well,
championship
well, well,
four.
well. Since we have the championship four and there's no truck race, I think we should go over championship picks.
Our championship picks. Okay, folks, we're locking them in right now. We're not gonna
Right.
wait. We're not gonna wait till next week to lock them in. We're gonna lock them in now because the truck's just finished. Okay,
Yeah.
who do we have? James? Why don't we start with you?
Chandler Smith.
If the
It's
good
gonna
Lord
be.
wants it to be his championship, it's gonna
It
be his
might as
championship.
well will be.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. Cory, what do you got?
Uh, I'm gonna go with
See,
Zane
Corey, no
Smith.
preparation.
Zane Smith. Okay, I think you
Yeah.
know what? I think he's the most deserving driver this season. Honestly, I think he's the most deserving driver of uh of the four to claim the championship. But I'm gonna have to go with the wave of momentum. The wave of momentum. I'm gonna have to go with Ty Majeski. I'm gonna go with Ty Majeski. I think he's just gonna pull off a Joey Logano type situation where he just picks up at the right time, right in the playoffs, and he's just gonna win this entire thing. He's gonna blow the doors off, and he's gonna win this race.
Not that.
So there's our championship picks. Lock them in, put them in a safe. Don't open them till episode 4. Don't know, not until episode 5, technically. Not until episode 5. Um, So those are our championship picks. Luckily, none of us picked Ben Rhodes because we all collectively hate Ben Rhodes.
No,
Anyway,
no,
Browski too.
no, no.
No,
We don't hate Ben Rhodes. We just have no interest in Ben Rhodes.
you don't hate
well,
Ben Rhodes.
okay, Cory.
You
Whatever
don't.
floats your boat. Okay, now Cory, let's go to the Xfinity race. What's the breakdown?
As we pull everything up, Noah Gragson is just. Can we just give him the title now? Can we just cancel the rest of the series and please, just unless he's gonna ultimately collapse, it ain't worth it. It's really not. It's really not. Because how many wins does he have now? Like 8.
He has
Eight.
Am I
8
wrong?
wins on the season.
8 wins. Still not better than Kyle Larson in the Cup Series last year, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Anyways,
It's a
Yeah.
shame. I know a lot of people love Noah Gregson, but he's one of those drivers that I absolutely cannot stand. And then just watching him go out and just dominate the field and then give one of these piss poor interviews and everybody eats it up because it's Noah Gregson. It just kind of pisses me off. Kind of grinds my gears, if you would.
I mean, Noah Gragson. Dude has literally shown up in the last 2 months. You take the last 2 months, how many races has he won? He's won at least 4 races in the last 2 months. 5 races actually. He only had 3 wins. He only had 3 wins coming off of the summer break and into fall, and dude just straight up lit on fire. I mean, he went from being on the verge of making it into the final four to now being the championship favorite. That is how quickly it swung because at the beginning of everybody saw that it was going to be AJ Allmendinger or Ty Gibbs. Now both of those guys have taken a step back, and now it's Noah Gragson.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a sad situation for people like us who aren't too fond of Noah Gragson. Bit of a sad
Yes,
situation.
we're just not enjoyers of Noah Gragson.
But for all those Noah Gregson fans out there, I'm sure you're having a ball of a time as he is absolutely dominating the Xfinity field and probably going to get him a championship.
I mean, okay, so let's go down through this. Finishing order: Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger. Three heavyweights in this series, all finishing 1, 2, 3. Daniel Hemrick, thank the good Lord, they finally gave him a solid run, finishing fourth. Man, that how long has it been since Daniel Hemrick has finished near the front in that Colleague 11?
He he definitely needed one of those for his confidence. Yeah,
Definitely.
pretty sure he's not even confirmed to drive the 11 next year.
No, he is. He
He
is.
is? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, he
he's
still
gonna drive for
definitely needed
2026.
that for his confidence because he's been on a terrible stretch, coming off of a championship and then getting eliminated in the
One of
first.
the worst, I'd have to say, championship slumps I've ever seen.
Most definitely. But I think we can attribute a lot of that is winning a championship with Joe Gibbs and then immediately going to a new team, new manufacturer. And, you
Which was
know,
also a downgrade technically, because we all know that those second and third string Colleague cars are not what the 16 is.
exactly, exactly. And I feel like him getting put in that situation might have messed up a lot of things for him.
I
So,
mean, speaking of that 18, Trevor Bayne, P6. I think this is his last. I think this is his last start of the season, right? He went out
it,
there. He led some laps. Ultimately, got absolutely blown by uh, Noah Gragson.
he
Nothing
was
he
up
could do
there.
about it.
It's a shame because he was up there and then he got caught speeding on pit road and had to go a lap down. And you know, the really sad part is that in the closing laps, he absolutely blew by Noah Gragson with no difficulty. And if he was still on the lead lap, he might have won that race.
All
I'm
right, so let's see
pretty sure.
here. Chandler Smith, your guy. He's gonna be driving for Colleague next year, 7th in a Sam Hunt racing car.
See, I don't think we could say we don't think we can keep using that Sam Hunt Racing line because I think that car was definitely prepared by Joe Gibbs Racing.
Oh, most definitely. Seeing that
But but
they
but
are
but
throwing TRD development drivers into that car.
I am still very impressed. I am still extremely impressed. This is one of Chandler Smith's I'm sure he hasn't elapsed 10 Xfinity starts in his career yet, and he goes up there, as Noah Gregson would say, threw the nuts up on the dash, ripped the board.
Don't quote him. Don't quote him. No.
Ripped up on the boards the whole race, passed some Xfinity Series regulars, and finished in the top 10. I am very, very, very impressed
All
by it.
right. Looking through the top 15, Bailey Curry and Brendan Poole, P13, P14. Um, what the hell? Brendan Poole back in the Xfinity series. I know, Corey, that gives you some pretty
It
horrific
does. It
flashbacks.
does. No, no. Let me be happy. Let me just savor this. Okay. Wait, P14. You got P14? Was it P14? Shut up.
Yeah,
No, P14. Yeah, top 15. I hate DC Solar. I will never forgive them for what they did to his career. I'm upset. And I'm still bitter about it. I'm still bitter about it. No, I'm not going to get over it.
Kyle Weatherman with a top 20, finishing 20th. That guy is a freaking wheelman.
he started up in the top. I think he started eighth, and then he sent one. I think in the turn one, got up in the top five, and he was up in the top five up in the top 10 for a lot of the day. Very impressed with Kyle Weatherman. Put him in some good equipment. He could be a champion.
Speaking of champions, do we want to go on to the next American race of the weekend? Speaking of champions, James. Speaking of
A Formula One race happened in Austin, Texas. It was 50 laps. Lewis Hamilton won. We will not talk about the 6 laps after lap 50. We will not talk about that. Lewis Hamilton is a winner in my eyes. It's still real to me. It's not fair. It's not fair. This season is it's done things to me. I can't do this anymore. After an atrocious Red Bull pit stop, Lewis Hamilton's in the lead. He's pulling away, and then Charles Leclerc can't keep Max Verstappen behind him for a good 3 laps, and then he just goes and chases down Lewis, and it's like, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame.
and James, do you know what happened because of that? Since we're on the
What
topic of championships,
what happened, Cory?
for the first time since I believe 2013,
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull are your FIA Formula One constructors champion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 That did happen. That did happen. Yeah. Yeah. This was an all around terrible weekend for me because another very notable incident that happened uh involved one of my favorites and least favorites, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso. Would you care to explain, Corey, while I get my thoughts together and don't throw something?
Right, right.
Corey, I can't hear you.
Right. So basically, you probably wouldn't have appreciated the first thing I said anyway. So it's glad that you couldn't hear me.
Hmm.
Anyway, so put it in layman's terms, Lance was like moving around on the racetrack, as one does. And then Fernando clipped him, and then Fernando did some what we like to call in the monster truck business, some good old two-wheel skills. Did a slap wheelie, hit the wall, because of track penalty or something. Would you say that's fairly accurate, James?
Yeah, Fernando got the penalty because his mirror flew off, and that is very unsafe. And honestly, I think he should have gotten more than 30 seconds because if you look at it, the suspension had to be destroyed. The suspension of Fernando's car had to be destroyed. That's still unsafe for Fernando himself, for the people around. And then in the middle of him making an overtake, I think on one of the Alpha Tauris, his wing mirror flies off, and it's like, hey, that's extremely unsafe for spectators. That's unsafe for Fernando because now we can't see behind him on the right hand side. That's very unsafe, and I feel like the penalty was justified. I don't care what you mean by, oh, the black and orange flag was never thrown. I feel like that's still extremely unsafe to have a car with only one rearview mirror and have that piece which has glass in it, which is still extremely unsafe, laying on the racetrack. I think that's extremely unsafe.
I'll tell you what, though, James. I'll tell you what, that Fernando penalty gave even more points to the Haas boys.
Oh, you're a Haas fan now? Oh wait, never mind. You just like Ferrari powered vehicles.
That's
Yes.
right. So Kevin Magnussen, who now I'm angry. Now I'm even angrier that he lost that position to Vettel. We're
Because
not going
that
to
would have
talk.
been
We're
sixth.
not going to talk about how Vettel is going to claim every driver of the day if he scores in the points because everybody feels sorry for him that he's finishing P6 to P9 every week.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, why you gotta
It,
say
it,
it like
Um,
that,
it's
bro?
a fall from grace. It's a big fall from grace.
it's a big fall from grace. So what? I mean, Red Bull championship
Red Bull.
sweep.
championship. We discussed it. We discussed it. It wasn't a
I'm
good discussion,
happy with it.
but we discussed it.
It
Well,
wasn't a good
yes.
discussion for you, James. It wasn't a good
Yeah.
discussion
It's not
for
a good
you.
discussion for either of us.
Nah, well, Tui is. Tui is. Well, the Tui is. Whilst the ones over here is happy.
I can respect your choices,
This
Corey.
is a. I'll tell you
I
what. This is a very
can
happy
say
weekend
I
for Cory.
respect your choices of being a Red Bull fan, and I can respect you being happy. But sometimes I do think, are you blind or suffering from some sort of brain damage? Because this this ain't it. You gotta go against everybody, man. I mean, come
I mean, this is a happy weekend for Cory because if we jump to the Cup race, guess who won? Cory, why don't you
Oh,
tell us?
Brad! Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me put the Valvoline shirt on right now. I'm putting on my Larson Valvoline shirt right now. Oh, like what? 199 laps? Was that the laptop? Doesn't matter. He stage one, stage two. Still not happy because this had the Roval not happened, he could have made it to the championship four. But still, he got a home. He got his
Remember,
homestead win.
Cory, the Roval will always have happened.
Kyle,
yeah.
You cannot
No,
hurt
Corey,
me because my driver is
you
mid.
got your little happiness moment. Oh, my team, my favorite driver won the F1 championship. Oh, my favorite F1 team won the constructors. Oh, my favorite driver won it.
oh,
Won
here
a.
we go. Here comes this man James with the sad victim complex. Oh boy, here he come. Here he
I'm
comes.
the
And
victim.
oh, woe is me.
Victim.
Woe
No,
is me.
no, no. I
Woe
am
is me.
the victim. No, I am the victim.
See,
Corey,
see.
I
Woe
am.
is me.
The, this
It's
is
so sad.
The
it
only
is.
Win.
victim here, James, the only victim here is Martin Truex Jr. getting absolutely cucked out of another win.
That
I
was
will
that was.
say this as a Bass Pro Shops employee, I will not.
I feel
I
like
mean,
that was Martin Truex Jr.'s fault because if you look at the replay, he was just about right alongside the pit box in front of his while still in the fast lane. So he turns and tries to slam on the at a Larson, and then there's realistically nothing Larson can do unless he wants to slam on the brakes and cause a traffic jam on pit road and lose a lot of time. So, as much as I am not the biggest Kyle Larson supporter, uh, it wasn't his fault. He dominated. He deserved the win. It's just a shame of the circumstances, especially for Kyle Larson. It's a shame of the circumstances that he
if we
went
look back to episode redacted,
episode
and we look at
redacted.
our picks,
Look at our picks.
nobody won.
Nobody won.
Nobody won.
But
I was close.
little side bet we did back in February before the season even started. I, like a genius, predicted Kyle Larson to win this race.
I think everybody and their mother had Kyle Larson picking this way.
Not you guys, obviously, because I'm just that guy. I'm just that guy.
Okay,
You
let's see here. Ross Chastain P2, AJ Allmendinger in the call it car. Gonna go full time in that car next season. Third place. Third
that
place.
that proves a lot for AJ Allmendinger, because like you're going full time next season, and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you a shot. Because he wasn't even supposed to drive this race because Noah is now, which I don't understand. Noah's the reserve driver for Hendrick, but he is, and so
It's Noah
Noah
Bowman. Actually, get it right. It's Noah Bowman.
Noah Bowman in the
Yes.
48. Noah Bowman in the 48, which means AJ Allmendinger has to do the rest of these races in the 16. And he went up and he showed up. He did his thing. Went up there, followed his ex teammate Ross Chastain. Nice little battle up there. They had a lot of fun. And P3, his confidence is gonna skyrocket before going back full time in that 16.
Okay, guys. Let's oh my goodness. P4 sound the sirens, guys. Austin Dillon, top 5, you know what that means. Another season of Austin Dillon's Life in the Fast Lane, baby. Oh man, we love clowning on Austin Dillon just because he has a reality TV show.
I mean, why would a NASCAR driver have a reality TV show? That's like the most un-NASCAR thing ever.
Exactly.
because because Austin, he's a pioneer of our sport. He's bridging the gap between housewives and track husbands like a real man, and he's doing it in the number 3 car like a
You know
real
what's
man.
not? You know what's not very manly? Chase
What?
Elliott in the round of 8 right now.
You
Dude
know what's
has been
crazy?
on an absolute slump.
He's gonna win at Martinsville, and then he's gonna win at Phoenix. Watch, I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now, dog.
That's what I hate. He's gonna do so mid in these first 2 races, but then he's gonna go bump his way to Martinsville and then go to Phoenix.
Because Chase Elliott doesn't have Larson's luck of engines blowing up 3 times this year. You know, he doesn't have that. You know why? Because they give Chase Elliott the best of the best cars, and then Larson's
Oh
like,
no.
no. Let me be a Chase Elliott doubter. Okay, let me be that guy. Let me be the antithesis of NASCAR Reddit or NASCAR Twitter. Okay, can I be that? Can I do that without persecution? I don't want to be a martyr for the NASCAR community.
Cory just loves stereotyping NASCAR fans.
I do. I really do. I do. Are we past the halfway point? Can we start putting words in the swear jar now?
Hold
We
on,
are
we're gonna cash him in. We're
27
gonna cash him in
exact.
all. We're gonna cash him in all at the hot laps. Hot laps. We're gonna cash all of our swear
We are
jars.
27 minutes in. So Corey Johnson, if you want to let curse words fly, I think you can start letting them fly soon.
What? Tell me what I can't say. Just tell me what I can't say.
I can't tell you that.
Just
You
keep
know
it
the limit.
PG-13.
There you go. That means
Bullshit.
one F bomb. You only get one whole episode. One. Use it wisely. Okay, so now something I guess your guys are gonna force me to talk about is 2311's new driver lineup that nobody thought.
James Ashbourne, the biggest supporter of 2311, had to go to the Lionel Racing Shop and purchase 4 new jackets and shirts because they had an entirely new driver lineup this weekend.
It's why always me, as one would say. It is.
Nah. You know
It
what
is.
happened, James? You're just gonna have to take your Bubba Wallace little T-shirt, little 23 T-shirt, tape over the number, write 45 on it, and then tape over Bubba Wallace's name and write John Hunter on it. That's what you're gonna have to do, James. How does it
There's
feel?
4 different. It's a 2 driver team. There's been 4 different drivers.
Man, you guys looking like Rick Ware Racing out there right now.
Put a new driver in every week at this point.
Hell, go put Chandler Smith already in there.
Might as well. I feel like Bubba I feel like he's gonna come back not better than ever, but he's gonna.
No, 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 no.
Oh no! He's gonna come back with a newfound respect of not dumping people on the straightaway going 180 because he had to sit down and watch John Hunter Nemechek drive his race car, and I know that has to be a terrible feeling to watch somebody take a race car and
John Hunter almost tore that thing up too when he self-spun it off of turn 2. Hey, I'm just gonna say it. Shout out to NASCAR memes IG. He posted the meme where is Leonardo DiCaprio going doing the thing where he's whistling and pointing, and he's like, "That's Bubba Wallace right there," and it was John Hunter Nemechek self-spinning off of turn 2. I found that so hilarious.
quite humorous. But one thing we do need to talk about, and I feel like we're going over the playoff picture, and coming into the last race of the round of 8.
If you're gonna
Something
talk about who I think you're gonna talk about, I'm gonna drop that F bomb. If you
the
say the
mask
driver, you're gonna say.
of Ryan Blaney. I think we got to talk about the mask collapse.
Oh,
Right?
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
It seems like once we hit the playoff, he was really consistent, and then once we hit the playoffs, he just fell off a cliff, and he's been falling upwards into these rounds. And I think that might be the end of Ryan Blaney.
No,
For
it's not. I have hope.
I don't. Eight
Cory, he is
points.
in a must-win position, and he cannot win.
He is at Martinisville. He's at Martinisville. He's at Martinisville.
I
That's
think
all I have
Christopher
to say.
Bell or Chase Briscoe has a better chance of winning at Martinsville than Ryan Blaney does right
If
now.
Chase Briscoe stumbles and tumbles and rumbles and stumbles into a championship,
I
Hey,
think we.
we did
No,
say on episode redacted that if Chase Briscoe wins any of these races and then goes to Phoenix, he's gonna win the championship because he's gonna bring that spring car back to Phoenix. Okay, well, let's look at the playoff picture. We got Joey Logano, everybody's favorite,
no,
locked in. Yay.
no.
Ross Chastain in P2. He jumps Chase Elliott in the points.
Good,
That's
I guess.
good for Ross. Speaking of Chase Elliott, everybody's favorite.
No.
pretty
Boo.
lame. Lame.
Um William Byron, the most how am I gonna say this? Okay, I'm gonna cash in my F bomb here.
Choose
The
choose your
most
words. Choose your words very carefully, Kyle, because I am very
cashier,
upset.
I'm cashing in that check right now because William Byron is a fucking bum and should not be in P4 in the championship right now. How is that even possible? I don't even like Denny Hamlin, but I'd rather prefer him than William Byron.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's that. Oh, wow. Quite interesting.
Do we know the
I
topics that are worthy of an F bomb? Because this seems like a pretty suitable one, but I don't want to use it yet. I don't want to.
We still have hot takes, Cory. We still have
we
hot
still
takes on the board.
not
And
we
what's
yeah.
a?
It's a good segment. Why don't you lead us to that? Why don't you lead
That's
us?
how I feel. That's how I feel about Byron. That's how I feel about Byron.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kyle, why don't you lead us in the hot takes? Because this is a spicy one.
All right. Okay, let's go hot laps. The segment where we talk about if a take is hot or not. All right. Here's our hot take of the week. Homestead overhyped. Is Homestead after this past weekend of racing in the brand new Cup car? We're gonna only do the Cup racing. His Cup racing was this weekend way too overhyped.
God, Lord, forgive me.
Oh no.
Kyle, do you know what my favorite mile and a half on the schedule is?
Is it Homestead?
Yes, take.
That's it's a pretty good track. But if we I'm gonna say that it was just a I like Homestead as much as the next guy, but I just think it was blown way too out of proportion. Like everybody's saying, "Oh, this is gonna be a god tier race. Oh man, this is gonna be one of the top 5 races." I think it barely. I don't even think it makes the top 10 races this year. Honestly, for the Cup races, like the fact that it didn't end up running at night kind of bummed me out because Miami under the lights is like half the experience, you know. Um, from what the drivers said, they said it was so hard to pass. Nobody could pass. That's probably why Kyle Larson dominated this race. To be
No,
honest,
he just built Diffie. He just nice with it at Homestead.
I mean it's just a hot take, but you don't have to agree with me. But like I'm just saying, Homestead this year was kind of mid. Homestead this year was kind of mid. It was an
See,
average
Homestead
race.
was so bad. It was so bad because we don't have the day to night transition. See, the day to night transition is so important in Homestead because if we do have somebody doing what Kyle Larson did, and let's say the race started at 5, the race starts at 5, then it starts cooling down, and let's say Kyle Larson didn't make the right change, it puts people in better positions. It doesn't limit it to like if Kyle Larson sets it right, sets the car up right one time, and then the car is perfect, he could just run that setup to the entirety of the race, and no one can touch him. But
You
when
know
we have
what, James? I
day to
think
night
that's what
transition,
happened because you know why? The race started at what, 2 o'clock,
two
and it finished
o'clock.
at 5.
Whose
So
idea
there's
was
really
whose idea was this? Whose idea was this?
they started the race at 2 o'clock, and there's no
Exactly.
temperature difference. The sun is still up at 5 o'clock.
It's
For
also South Florida, so
where
it's
it's
gonna be a
always hot
good
until it gets
85
nighttime.
degrees.
This was poor. This was poor planning by NASCAR. They should have made it
This was
a
not the
day to
track's
night
fault.
race.
If you want, just make it a full on night race.
Or yes, just move it to Saturday. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take out trucks from Homestead. We're gonna move the cutoff race back to Martinsville the next weekend.
I
We
love
move we move the Xfinity race to Friday night. We move the Cup race to Saturday night. Make it just a full on night race.
I love that.
That seems like a win to me. This hot take is really interesting because you know why? This this race was blown to oblivion more than any of the other races for this round. Just because this is where all the champions were crowned. But I feel like it didn't show that because whenever the champions celebrate, it's always at nighttime. It's like you worked all day to win it at night. But here you just felt like, oh, you just drove around for like a little bit,
So, so what you're saying is, Kyle, is
It doesn't give you that feeling. It doesn't give you that championship feel anymore. Cause as most of you will probably remember, what was a good championship crowning when Martin Truex Jr. had the championship for front. What was it? Furniture.
furniture
Furniture
row.
Row.
Absolutely biblical scenes. Fireworks going off. He's doing donuts in the paint. There's blue smoke and yellow smoke everywhere. It's in the nighttime. You have the lights flashing on him. That is an amazing spectacle. But even now, when Larson did his burnouts on he did the 11s all the way down the front stretch. That's cool, but like, you don't get that feel anymore. It's like winning at Dover. Oh, it's the middle of the day.
Oh no! Hey! Hey!
Okay.
Rowdy.
All
I
right, guys.
apologize.
Well, I think we got pretty riled up for that hot take, which means that it was a good hot take. Um, so with that being said, that wraps up our main show. We're gonna wrap this show up with predictions, our usual predictions. We're going to Martinsville this weekend. We got Xfinity Cup and then F1 at Mexico. Um, okay, let's do a speed round. We got to think. Let's go quick. Um, James Xfinity, pick
Give
go.
me Brandon Jones. He's gonna double up. Give me Brandon Jones.
He's gonna
I like
double
that
up
pick
at the
actually.
martini
Cory,
store. Give me Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs. Okay, I'm gonna go with dark horse. I'm gonna go with Sam Mayer. I'm gonna go with Sam Mayer. I think Sam Mayer's got it because
The track where he got his, we can curse now, right? The track where he got his ass whipped by Ty Gibbs. That track.
yes, yes,
That's Sam Mayer.
yes.
Okay.
That's Sam.
James is petty, and he's never gonna let that go. That's like he's just gonna keep clinging on to that high forever.
All right, Cup. All right, here we go. Cup Series. James.
I haven't thought about this in the slightest, but now that we have the tiniest possibility of a Chase Briscoe championship, he's gonna win his way into Martinsville.
Man, this is why we have James on the show for those absolutely balls off the walls picks. Okay, Cory, go.
Corey has not chosen. Kyle, go.
Give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. I'm
Okay,
calculating. I'm
we'll
calculating. Hold
skip
on, go
to me.
ahead.
We'll hop back to Corey. I'm going with Denny Hamlin. I think he's gonna do it.
Oh, oh, you want to see a balls off the wall pick? Is that what we're doing? Is this a
Oh no,
competition? Did you forget, James? You know how off the wall I be getting, right, James?
Mm-hmm.
this guy gonna
You
pick
know what?
Ryan Blaney.
No,
He's gonna pick Cody Ware.
no. Who's in the 27 this weekend?
Oh my goodness.
The 27 isn't even racing, Corey.
He just
Did
named.
I? I'm picking the pace car to win. That's my pick. The pace car.
You know
Because
what?
if we,
It's the
and,
one thing that's gonna be in one piece to next week.
That is insane. That is insane. He picked the pace. I think we have to call. I think we have to cancel the. We have to cancel the podcast after that. Just call it quits.
I mean,
We call
cancel
it.
the podcast, cancel the rest of the F1 season,
All
cancel
right.
the rest of NASCAR.
Because
We're
Corey
done.
did to pick the pace car. See now, if the race ends under caution, does Corey technically get that point?
It will never end under caution, though, James.
Well, what happens if they wreck with one to go? That's under caution.
No,
See?
but the lead car still claims the win.
Ah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
They don't do the pace car comes around first anymore.
Okay. Okay. So we've gotten that situated. Now it's time for Formula One.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start this off. Checo Perez is gonna win. Max Verstappen already clinched the drivers. They already got their constructors. I think it's just right that Checo is gonna get higher priority. He's gonna get the better car this weekend, and they're gonna give him a win at the home Grand Prix, and he's gonna secure second in the driver's standings. That's like a check off of all the boxes. I got Checo Perez.
I have George Russell. Now listen to my explanation.
The victim.
Listen to my
yeah, it's
explanation.
always the victim. Go
Listen
on.
to my explanation. We all know about the enormous straight at Mexico. Probably the
Oh,
longest straight.
I already know what you're gonna say. Oh
We
my
all
God,
know.
James, please.
Front wheel
Oh.
to rear axle. See now, if
Uh,
George does what he did to Checo at France, and he just does that, and he sends him into Max Verstappen, and they both, go off, and then Ferrari do what they do best and just choke away easy points. It's Mercedes 1-2 all day. That's all I'm saying.
James, do you know how many incidents George Russell has had and how many penalties he has had? The ratio is like 7-0.
That's why I'm saying he's gonna win because of an incident. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All the stars are aligning right now, and I don't see why y'all are upset at me.
Stars, as many stars as was on the Haas paint scheme last week. Anyway, Corey, you got to pick.
Jesus Christ, the one Red Bull fan in here is too dumb to just pick Max Verstappen.
see, just I was gonna pick Lewis Hamilton. I was, but no. Give me Max Verstappen. You dick.
To be honest, if you aren't picking Sergio Perez or you ain't picking Max, you don't have a shot at winning.
That's reasonable.
Well, all right, that wraps up episode 2 of the Driving in Circles podcast.
Can we be vulgar
Make sure
now?
to
Is this the
make
part where
sure
we can be
to
vulgar
like,
now?
comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace out, James. Hit that music.
There is no outro music.